The vast expanse of space stretched out before the massive alien mothership. Its sleek, silver form glided silently through the star-studded darkness. Inside, beings from 100 different worlds worked together in perfect harmony. This was the pride of the Galactic Alliance, a union of the most advanced races in the known universe. On the bridge, Admiral Zixnor, a tall, blue-skinned creature with 4 arms, stood watching the main view screen. His large, multifaceted eyes reflected the light of a small blue-green planet growing larger as they approached. "Earth," he said, his voice a low rumble. "Home of the humans." His second-in-command, a shorter reptilian being named Slith, flicked a forked tongue. "Such a primitive world." Slith hissed. "Why are we even here?" Zixnor turned all 4 of his eyes to Slith. "Orders from the High Council. The humans have achieved faster than light travel. It's time to welcome them to the galactic community." The sarcasm in his voice was clear. This wasn't a welcoming committee. It was a show of force. As they neared Earth, a small fleet of human ships appeared on their sensors. The alien crew laughed. The human vessels looked like toys compared to their massive mothership. "They dare to greet us with that?" Slith sneered. "Those aren't warships. They're escape pods at best." Zixnor nodded, a smirk on his face. "Let's hear what they have to say." "Open a channel." On the view screen, the image of a human appeared. He wore a crisp uniform and had a serious expression on his face. "This is Admiral Chen of Earth's United Space Fleet. We welcome you to our system and hope for peaceful relations." Zixnor's smirk grew wider. "Greetings, Admiral Chen. I am Admiral Zixnor of the Galactic Alliance. We've come to discuss Earth's place in the greater galactic community." Chen nodded, his face neutral. "We look forward to the discussion. We have prepared a delegation to meet with you." "Excellent," Zixnor replied. "We will send you coordinates for the meeting." End transmission. As the human's face disappeared from the screen, laughter erupted on the bridge. "Did you see their ships?" One alien chuckled. "They look like they're held together with tape and hope." "And that uniform," another added. "So primitive. Do they think colored cloth will protect them in battle?" Zixnor raised a hand for silence. "Don't underestimate them too much. They did manage to achieve FTL travel. But yes, they are far behind us. This discussion will be short." In the following days, the aliens met with Earth's leaders. The humans were eager to join the galactic community, to learn and share knowledge. But the aliens had other plans. "You want us to pay a protection fee?" Chen asked, his voice filled with disbelief. "With half of our planet's resources." Zixnor's face was a mask of false sympathy. "The galaxy is a dangerous place. Admiral, you need our protection. And protection isn't free." The human leaders argued and pleaded, but the aliens stood firm. They gave Earth 1 week to decide. As the aliens returned to their ship, Slith turned to Zixnor. "They'll never agree. Should we prepare the invasion fleet?" Zixnor laughed. "Invasion fleet? For that pitiful planet? Their tiny fleet couldn't even scratch our paint. No, we'll simply take what we want. They can't stop us." But as the alien ship moved away from Earth, they didn't notice the determined looks on the faces of the human leaders. They didn't see the frantic activity in Earth's shipyards and laboratories. And they certainly didn't realize that sometimes the smallest packages contained the biggest surprises. The stage was set. The Galactic Alliance had made their move. Now, it was humanity's turn to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. The room was silent. Earth's leaders sat around a large oval table, their faces grim. Admiral Chen stood at the head, his hands pressed flat against the smooth surface. 1 week, he said, his voice low but firm. That's all the time they've given us. President Maria Rodriguez, a tall woman with streaks of gray in her dark hair, spoke up. "And if we refuse their demands?" Chen's face hardened. They didn't say it outright, but the threat was clear. They'll take what they want by force. The room erupted into worried chatter. Chen raised his hand for silence. We have 3 options, he continued. 1. We give them what they want. 2. We fight. 3. We try to negotiate. Dr. Amit Patel, head of Earth's Science Division, shook his head. Giving in is not an option. Half our resources. We'd be crippling ourselves for generations. And negotiation? Asked General Zhang. Her eyes narrowed. Do you think they'll listen? Chen sighed. From what I've seen of the Galactic Alliance, they're not interested in fair deals. They see us as primitive, weak. President Rodriguez stood up, her decision made. Then we fight. The next day, Chen stood before the alien delegation on their massive mothership. Zixnor loomed over him, all 4 arms crossed. Well, human, the alien admiral rumbled. What is Earth's decision? Chen looked up, meeting Zixnor's multiple eyes without flinching. Earth refuses your demands. Admiral, we will not be extorted or bullied. For a moment, silence filled the room. Then laughter erupted from the alien crew. Zixnor's face split into a wide grin, revealing rows of sharp teeth. You refuse. He chuckled. With what army do you plan to resist us? Your tiny fleet of toy ships. Chen's face remained impassive. We have our ways, Admiral. Don't underestimate Earth. Zixnor's amusement faded, replaced by cold anger. Very well. You have made your choice. In 3 days, we will return with our full fleet. Either you surrender what we demand, or we will take it by force. As Chen was escorted back to his ship, he could hear the aliens still laughing. They thought Earth was defenseless, a primitive world, easy for the taking. Back on Earth, preparations were already underway. In hidden bases around the globe, engineers and scientists worked around the clock. Shipyards, concealed beneath the ocean's waves, hummed with activity. In one such facility, Dr. Paddle stood before a massive holographic display. It showed a sleek, compact ship design unlike anything Earth had publicly revealed. The X-37 Starhawk, he explained to President Rodriguez and General Zhang. Small enough to be overlooked, but packed with technology that's generations ahead of what the Alliance thinks we have. General Zhang nodded approvingly. How many can we have ready in 3 days? Dr. Paddle smiled. 50, at least. Maybe more if we push it. President Rodriguez studied the hologram, her face set with determination. Do it. Push as hard as you can. We'll need every ship we can get. As the leaders discussed strategy, similar scenes played out across the globe. Pilots trained in advanced simulators, learning to handle the new ships. Weapon systems were fine-tuned. Defense grids were strengthened. The aliens thought Earth would be easy prey. They expected surrender or a token resistance at best. But humanity had no intention of giving up without a fight. In orbit, Earth's visible fleet, the ships the aliens had laughed at, continued their patrols. To any observer, they looked woefully inadequate for the coming battle. But hidden beneath the waves, in secret mountain hangars, and in orbital shipyards disguised as space debris, Earth's real fleet was taking shape. As the deadline approached, Admiral Chen stood in Earth's main control center. Screens showed the Galactic Alliance's fleet assembling at the edge of the solar system. Their numbers were vast, their ships enormous. They're coming, Chen said quietly. President Rodriguez stood beside him, her jaw set. Are we ready? Chen nodded. As ready as we'll ever be. They think they're facing a primitive race with a handful of outdated ships. He allowed himself a small smile. They're in for one hell of a surprise. The stage was set. In just a few hours, the galaxy would learn a valuable lesson. Never underestimate humanity. The tiny fleet they had laughed at was about to reveal its true nature, and the Galactic Alliance was in for the shock of their lives. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a hidden facility known only to a select few, Dr. Amit Patel stood before a gleaming starship. Its sleek design was unlike anything seen before in human engineering. This was the X-37 Starhawk, humanity's secret weapon. "Run final diagnostics," Dr. Patel ordered, his voice echoing in the vast underwater hangar. Technicians scurried around the ship, their movements precise and practiced. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing complex schematics and data streams. "Sir," a young engineer called out, "the quantum drive is stable. We're ready for the test run." Dr. Patel nodded, a mixture of pride and anxiety on his face. "Initiate launch sequence." The floor beneath the Starhawk began to move. Slowly, a massive platform lifted the ship towards the ocean's surface. As it rose, protective panels slid away, revealing a shaft that led straight up to the sky. In the control room, tensions were high. This was the moment of truth. If the Starhawk performed as designed, humanity had a fighting chance. If not, the ship breached the ocean's surface, water cascading off its hull. With a burst of blue energy, it shot into the sky, disappearing from view in seconds. "Status report," Dr. Patel demanded. "All systems nominal," came the reply. "She's performing beautifully, sir." A cheer went up in the control room. Dr. Patel allowed himself a small smile. "Bring her home." Moments later, the Starhawk reappeared, landing gracefully on the platform. As soon as it was secure, Dr. Patel rushed to the debriefing room. Captain Sarah Chen, test pilot and daughter of Admiral Chen, was removing her helmet as Dr. Patel entered. "Well?" he asked, unable to hide his eagerness. Sarah's face broke into a wide grin. "It's incredible, Doctor. The maneuverability, the speed, the stealth capabilities. It's like nothing I've ever flown before." Dr. Patel's shoulders sagged in relief. "And the weapons systems? We couldn't test them fully, of course," Sarah replied, "but all simulations indicate they're functioning at 100% capacity. The aliens won't know what hit them." As they discussed the test flight, a call came through. It was Admiral Chen. "How did it go?" he asked, his face serious on the video screen. Dr. Patel couldn't contain his excitement. "Better than we hoped, Admiral. The Starhawk is ready for action." Admiral Chen nodded, a hint of a smile on his face. "Good work, everyone. But we're not out of the woods yet. The alien fleet will be here in less than 48 hours. How many ships can we have ready?" Dr. Patel consulted his tablet. "We've got 30 Starhawks ready now. We can push that to 50 in the next day and a half." "Make it happen," Chen ordered. "And Dr. Patel, thank you. You and your team might have just saved humanity." As the call ended, Dr. Patel turned to his team. "You heard the Admiral. We've got work to do." Across the globe, similar scenes play out in secret bases. In the Himalayan mountains, engineers put the finishing touches on advanced AI systems that would give human pilots an edge in combat. In underground facilities beneath the Sahara, scientists fine-tuned energy weapons capable of piercing the strongest alien shields. Each innovation was a closely guarded secret. To the outside world, and to the approaching alien fleet, Earth appeared woefully unprepared. But appearances can be deceiving. In orbit, Earth's decoy fleet continued its patrols. These were the ships the aliens had laughed at, outdated vessels that posed no real threat. They served their purpose well, hiding the truth of humanity's preparations. As the deadline approached, tension mounted. In the White House Situation Room, President Rodriguez studied the latest reports. "Are we really ready for this?" she asked Admiral Chen, who stood beside her. Chen's face was grim but determined. "As ready as we can be, Madam President. The Galactic Alliance thinks they're facing a primitive race with outdated technology. They have no idea what's waiting for them." Rodriguez nodded, her jaw set. "Then let's hope your daughter and the other pilots are as good as you say they are." "They're the best humanity has to offer," Chen replied. "And they're flying ships that represent the pinnacle of human ingenuity. We may be outnumbered, but we won't go down without a fight." As night fell over Earth, the planet seemed peaceful. But beneath the calm exterior, humanity was poised for the greatest battle in its history. In hidden hangars and secret bases, pilots climbed into their Starhawks, ready to launch at a moment's notice. The aliens were coming, confident in their superiority. But they were about to learn a valuable lesson. Never underestimate human ingenuity. The tiny fleet they had laughed at was about to reveal its true nature, and the galaxy would never be the same. The vastness of space was suddenly filled with light. Thousands of alien ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel, their massive forms blocking out the stars. At the center of the fleet was the enormous mothership of Admiral Zixnor, dwarfing even the largest human structures. On the bridge of his ship, Zixnor's multiple eyes gleamed with anticipation. "Status report," he demanded. "All ships accounted for, Admiral," Slith replied. "The human planet lies defenseless before us." Zixnor's mouth curved into what passed for a smile among his species. "Excellent. Hail their pathetic fleet. Let's see if they've reconsidered our generous offer." On Earth, alarms blared in every military installation. In the Central Command, Admiral Chen watched as the alien armada filled their screens. "They're hailing us, sir," a communications officer reported. Chen nodded grimly. "Put them through." Zixnor's alien face appeared on the main screen, his expression smug. "Well, human, have you come to your senses? Will you surrender what we demand, or shall we take it by force?" Chen's face remained impassive. "We reject your demands, Admiral. Earth is not yours to plunder." For a moment, Zixnor seemed taken aback by the human's defiance. Then he laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "Very well. You've made your choice. Prepare tow." Suddenly, Slith interrupted. "Admiral, our sensors are detecting something strange." Zixnor turned, annoyed. "What is it?" "New contacts, sir. Hundreds of them. Small, but they're like nothing we've seen before." On Earth, Chen allowed himself a small smile. "Now," he said quietly into his comm. Across the planet, hidden hangar doors slid open. In the depths of the oceans, massive platforms rose to the surface. And from these secret locations, humanity's real fleet emerged. The X-37 Starhawks, gleaming and deadly, shot into the sky. Led by Captain Sarah Chen, they formed up into perfect attack formations, their advanced stealth technology making them nearly invisible to alien sensors. In space, Zixnor watched in disbelief as hundreds of small, sleek ships seemed to appear out of nowhere. "What trickery is this?" he roared. Before anyone could respond, the human ships attacked. Energy beams lanced out, slicing through alien shields as if they were paper. Missiles with impossibly advanced guidance systems found their marks with unerring accuracy. "Impossible," Slith cried out as reports of damages flooded in. "Their weapons, they're cutting through our defenses like they're not even there." Zixnor's face contorted with rage. "Launch all fighters. Destroy those human pests." But the alien fighters found themselves outmatched. The Starhawks moved with incredible agility, their eye-assisted pilots performing maneuvers that should have been impossible. Human weapons found their marks again and again, while alien shots passed harmlessly through empty space. On her Starhawk, Captain Sarah Chen led the charge. "All wings, report in," she called out. "Red wing, standing by. Blue wing, ready for action. Green wing, let's show these aliens what humans can do." Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. "Remember your training. Use the Starhawk's agility to your advantage. Hit hard and fast, then get clear. Let's go." The battle raged across the solar system. Larger alien ships, caught off guard by the humans' surprising capability, found themselves surrounded and overwhelmed by swarms of Starhawks. The night sky over Earth lit up with explosions as alien vessels, once thought invincible, burst into flames. In the command center, Admiral Chen watched the battle unfold with a mixture of pride and concern. "Status report," he demanded. "We're holding our own, sir," an officer replied, awe in his voice. "The Starhawks are performing beyond all expectations. Alien casualties are high, and we've lost only a handful of ships." Chen nodded, but his face remained serious. "Don't get overconfident. This battle is far from over." Back in space, Zixnor's mothership shuddered as another volley of human weapons found their mark. "How is this possible?" he raged. "They were primitives. Their ships were toys." Slith, struggling to maintain his composure, turned to his admiral. "Sir, we've lost a third of our fleet. Perhaps we should consider retreating." Zixnor's eyes blazed with fury. "Retreat? From these humans? Never. Prepare my personal fighter. I'll show these vermin what real combat looks like." As Zixnor stormed off the bridge, Slith looked out at the battle raging around them. For the first time in his life, he felt something he never thought possible when facing a lesser race. Fear. The battle for Earth had begun in earnest. Humanity had revealed its true strength, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The void of space lit up with explosions as the battle raged on. Human Starhawks darted between massive alien ships, their advanced weapons leaving trails of destruction. But the aliens were far from defeated. Admiral Zixnor's personal fighter, a massive craft bristling with weapons, burst from the hangar of his mothership. "All ships, focus your fire on the human craft," he bellowed over the comms. "Show them the true might of the Galactic Alliance." In her Starhawk, Captain Sarah Chen saw the new threat emerge. "All wings, be advised. We have a new player on the field. Looks like their big boss decided to join the party." "Copy that, Captain," came the reply from her squadron. "What's the plan?" Sarah's eyes narrowed as she studied the tactical display. "They're trying to box us in. Time to show them why that's a bad idea. Initiate Maneuver Omega." As one, the human fleet seemed to scatter in disarray. The aliens pressed their advantage, concentrating their fire on what they thought were easy targets. But it was a trap. As the alien ships moved to pursue, they suddenly found themselves surrounded. The Starhawks, using their superior maneuverability, had quickly regrouped behind and around the alien forces. "Now," Sarah shouted, "hit them with everything we've got." A storm of energy beams and missiles erupted from the human ships. Caught off guard, the alien vessels took heavy damage. Shields failed, hulls cracked, and ship after ship erupted in flames. On his command ship, Admiral Chen watched the battle unfold with a mixture of pride and concern. "Status report," he demanded. "Our forces are holding, sir," an officer replied. "The Starhawks' eye-assisted tactics are proving highly effective, but the aliens still outnumber us, and they're learning." Chen nodded grimly. "Keep pushing. We need to end this before they can regroup." Back in space, Zixnor's fighter plowed through the battlefield, its advanced shields shrugging off human attacks. "Is this the best you can do, humans?" he taunted over an open channel. "Your tricks won't save you." Sarah gritted her teeth as she heard the alien's voice. "All wings, form up on me. We're taking down the big guy." Her squadron fell in behind her, forming a tight arrow formation. They weaved through the chaos of battle, dodging debris and enemy fire as they closed in on Zixnor's ship. "Firing solutions uploaded," Sarah's co-pilot announced. "Ready on your mark, Captain." Sarah took a deep breath. Fire. A barrage of energy beams and missiles streaked towards Zixnor's fighter. At the last second, the alien craft rolled, avoiding the worst of the attack. But one missile found its mark, detonating against the ship's engines. Zixnor's voice crackled over the comms, filled with rage. "You'll pay for that, human." His damaged ship spun around, unleashing a torrent of fire. Sarah's squadron scattered, but two Starhawks weren't fast enough. They vanished in balls of flame. "Jenkins, Rodriguez," Sarah cried out, but there was no response. Grief turned to determination as she keyed her comms. "All ships, new tactic. Operation Firefly. Across the battlefield, human ships began to move in an intricate dance. They darted in and out of debris fields, using the wreckage of destroyed ships as cover. Their movements seemed random, chaotic. The aliens struggled to track them. Whenever they fired, the humans seemed to vanish, only to reappear somewhere else, unleashing devastating attacks. What is this madness? Zixnor raged as another of his ships exploded. How are they predicting our moves? On Earth, in a secret bunker deep underground, a team of human scientists and AI specialists worked furiously. Banks of quantum computers hummed as they processed vast amounts of data, predicting alien tactics and updating human battle plans in real time. Dr. Patel watched the holographic display of the battle with awe. "It's working," he whispered. "The predictive AI is giving our pilots the edge they need." Back in space, the tide of battle had clearly turned. More and more alien ships fell to the humans' coordinated attacks. The once mighty Galactic Alliance fleet was in disarray. Zixnor's damaged fighter limped back towards his mothership. "All ships, fall back and regroup," he ordered, his voice filled with disbelief. "We need to reassess our strategy." As the alien fleet began to retreat, a cheer went up among the human forces. But Sarah Chen's voice cut through the celebration. "Don't get cocky, people. They're down, but not out. Stay sharp and press the advantage. We've got them on the run. Now let's finish this." The battle for Earth had reached its turning point. Humanity, once dismissed as primitive and weak, had proven itself a force to be reckoned with. But the war was far from over, and the greatest challenges still lay ahead. The vastness of space, once filled with the imposing sight of the Galactic Alliance's fleet, now told a different story. Debris from destroyed alien ships floated aimlessly, a testament to the unexpected might of humanity's forces. Admiral Zixnor, his personal fighter barely functional, limped back to his damaged mothership. His multiple eyes, once filled with arrogant confidence, now darted nervously as he surveyed the destruction around him. "Status report," he demanded, his voice lacking its usual authoritative boom. Sliff, looking worse for wear, responded with a trembling voice. "Admiral, we've lost over 60% of our fleet. The humans, they're still coming." Zixnor slammed his fist on the control panel. "Impossible. How could these primitives?" His voice trailed off as he watched another of his ships explode under human fire. Meanwhile, on the bridge of the lead Starhawk, Captain Sarah Chen allowed herself a small smile. "All wings, report in," she commanded. "Red Wing, standing by. We've taken some hits, but we're still in the fight. Blue Wing here. Those aliens won't know what hit them. Green Wing, ready to finish this, Captain." Sarah nodded, her face set with determination. "All right, people. Let's show them what happens when you underestimate humanity. Execute Operation Checkmate." As if choreographed, the human fleet split into 3 groups. They moved with precision, herding the remaining alien ships into a tight cluster. On Earth, in the underground command center, Admiral Chen watched the battle unfold with a mixture of pride and anxiety. "Dr. Patel," he called out, "what's the status of our secret weapon?" Dr. Patel looked up from his console, his eyes shining with excitement. "It's ready, Admiral. On your command." Chen took a deep breath. "Do it." In space, a massive portal suddenly opened behind the human lines. From it emerged a ship unlike any other, sleek, enormous, and pulsing with energy. It was the culmination of human ingenuity, a vessel powered by technology reverse-engineered from studying the alien wrecks from their first encounter. "By the cosmic winds," Zixnor whispered, his eyes wide with disbelief. "What is that?" The new human ship, codenamed Prometheus, moved into position. Its hull began to glow, energy building up to levels that made alien sensors scream in alarm. Sarah's voice came over all channels, human and alien alike. "This is your final warning. Surrender now or face the consequences." For a moment, Silence reigned across the battlefield. Then, one by one, alien ships began powering down their weapons. Zixnor watched in disbelief as his once mighty armada raised the white flag of surrender. As human ships moved in to secure the alien vessels, word of the battle's outcome spread across the galaxy like wildfire. On hundreds of worlds, members of the Galactic Alliance watched in shock as footage of the human victory played on their screens. On a distant planet, in a dimly lit room, a group of alien leaders convened an emergency meeting. "This changes everything," one of them, a tall, crystalline being, said. "The humans, they're not the primitives we thought they were." Another, a gaseous entity contained in a floating orb, pulsed with agitation. "We must reconsider our alliances. The Galactic Alliance has shown weakness. Perhaps the humans would be open to new partnerships." Back on Earth, celebrations erupted as news of the victory spread. In cities around the world, humans took to the streets, cheering and waving flags. The fear of alien invasion, which had hung over the planet like a dark cloud, had been replaced by a sense of pride and accomplishment. In the White House Situation Room, President Rodriguez shook hands with Admiral Chen. "You did it, Admiral. You saved Earth." Chen shook his head. "We all did it, Madam President. Every scientist, engineer, and soldier played their part. This was humanity's victory." As they spoke, a message came through on a secure channel. President Rodriguez's eyes widened as she read it. "It seems our victory has had some unexpected consequences. We're receiving messages from multiple alien races. They're requesting alliances." Admiral Chen raised an eyebrow. "Alliances? With us?" Rodriguez nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "It appears the galaxy has realized that humanity is not to be underestimated. The tables have truly turned." As Earth celebrated and the galaxy reeled from the shock of the human victory, one thing became clear: the era of human isolation was over. Humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again. The tiny fleet they had laughed at had not only survived but triumphed. And now, the stars themselves were within humanity's reach. 1 year had passed since the Battle of Earth, and the galaxy was a changed place. The grand halls of the Galactic Council, once dominated by the arrogant members of the Galactic Alliance, now hosted a more diverse gathering of species. And at the center of it all stood the representatives of humanity, no longer dismissed as primitives, but respected as equals. Admiral Chen, now serving as Earth's ambassador, stood before the assembled alien delegates. His weathered face bore the signs of the past year's intense negotiations and peacekeeping efforts. "Fellow sentients," he began, his voice carrying across the vast chamber. "1 year ago, we faced each other as enemies. Today, we stand together as partners in a new era of galactic cooperation." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the audience. Even former enemies nodded in respect. In the front row, Captain Sarah Chen, newly promoted to commander, sat alongside Dr. Amit Patel. They exchanged proud glances as Admiral Chen continued his speech. "We have learned much from each other in this past year. The Galactic Alliance has shared its vast knowledge of the cosmos, and in return, we have offered our unique human perspective and ingenuity." On a screen behind him, images flashed of joint human-alien projects. New ships combining the best of both technologies, medical breakthroughs that saved lives across multiple species, environmental initiatives that helped heal damaged planets. "But our work is far from over," Chen continued. "There are still threats out there, still injustices to be corrected. Which is why I am proud to announce the formation of the Galactic Peacekeeping Force, a joint military and humanitarian organization dedicated to maintaining peace and promoting progress throughout our shared galaxy." The announcement was met with applause. Even Zixnor, the former admiral of the Galactic Alliance fleet, now serving as a liaison officer, nodded in approval. As the council session concluded, Sarah and Dr. Patel made their way to a quiet balcony overlooking the alien capital city. The sky was filled with ships of various designs, a testament to the new era of cooperation. Can you believe it's only been a year? Sarah mused, leaning on the railing. Sometimes I still expect to wake up and find it was all a dream. Dr. Patel chuckled. I know what you mean. From fighting for our survival to helping shape galactic policy, it's been quite a journey. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of an alien dignitary, a tall, elegantly tentacled being that moved with fluid grace. Commander Chen, Dr. Patel. The alien greeted them in perfect English. I am Zorax, representative of the Cephalon Collective. We were most impressed by your father's speech, Commander. Sarah smiled. Thank you, Representative Zorax. We're all working hard to make this new partnership a success. Zorax's tentacles rippled, and what they had learned was a sign of agreement. Indeed. In fact, that is why I sought you out. The collective has a proposal we'd like to discuss. A joint mission to explore the uncharted regions beyond the galactic rim. Dr. Patel's eyes lit up with excitement. Beyond the rim. But the energy requirements for such a journey would be substantial, yes, Zorax finished. But with human ingenuity combined with Cephalon technology, we believe it's possible. Interested? Sarah and Amit exchanged glances, both unable to contain their enthusiasm. When do we start? Sarah asked. As they discussed the details of the proposed mission, more aliens and humans joined their group. Ideas were exchanged, plans were made, and laughter filled the air. It was a scene unimaginable just a year ago. Different species working together, united in their curiosity and desire for progress. Back in the council chamber, Admiral Chen was concluding a private meeting with the heads of various galactic factions. As the alien leaders filed out, President Rodriguez, who had traveled from Earth for this historic session, approached him. Well, David, she said, using his first name in the privacy of the empty room, I'd say this was a success. You've done an incredible job as our ambassador. Chen smiled tiredly. Thank you, Madam President, but it's been a team effort. Every human, every alien who chose cooperation over conflict, they're the real heroes. Rodriguez nodded, then grinned mischievously. So, think they're ready for our next big reveal. The faster-than-light communication system our scientists have been working on. Chen laughed. One step at a time, Madam President. Let's not shock them too much. After all, we were just primitives with a tiny fleet a year ago. As they walked out of the chamber, the sun of the alien world was setting, casting a golden glow over the city. Ships of all shapes and sizes crisscrossed the sky, carrying beings from 100 worlds. And among them, distinctive in their sleek design, flew the ships of Earth's fleet, no longer tiny, no longer laughed at, but respected and admired throughout the galaxy. The future was bright, full of challenges and opportunities, and humanity, once dismissed as a footnote in galactic history, was ready to write the next chapter, not alone, but hand in hand with their new allies among the stars.